So I'm not in a very big position right now. I was earlier. I made $1,000 on this demo, and I published it for it's 18 days of trading. Made $4,000 with a $10,000 account. 7,000 trades. 63% win rate. A lot of market orders. 20 hours is the longest trade. About 20 hours. I think the average trade's like 8 hours. I don't know, the stats are there. Just remembering from I looked at them. But this is the daily NASDAQ we're looking at here. And I know that the trend traders bought this last pullback to their moving average. And I know the market makers gobbled up all the retail trend traders stops, and they just ripped their face off. But we're coming back to this bottom. And this is a momentum swing. You could call this a failure swing and the beginning of the end of the bull markets. Even Amazon's going to suffer now. So people are voting with their money. Dominion cannot stop people voting with their money, whether they're buying Stop Gun or Pet Rocks. This is the one can stop it. So that was Monday's. Well, Friday, it's choppy up here. And I think if you put it in the context of this monthly chart, you just got to ask yourself, who's buying here? I mean, really, it's parabolic. You buying up here? Maybe you are. I guess so. It's possible. But for how long? And where's your target, for God's sakes, on this one? Look at the same issue here. Although we took out that floor, this was the auction. This was a nice stop hunt. Took out the low of the month and ripped it up. Nice place to put a crop of limits down there. A lot of reasons to put limits in that. Buy this void. If only for the wick. That's my trade. The wick. Be the wick. That's where all the money's at, the wick. Look at this. Look at all the money in this wick here on this Dow. The dailies. Do you need an algorithm for that? Do you need moving average for that? You could tell me all day long, you're only a buyer because it's going in an uptrend. But what about all these sells up here? What's wrong with these sells? Sell new highs. And the daily selling new highs. I mean, the air is pretty thin up here. Anything above closing prices, this is the closing. This is the one trade moving average. This is closing prices on top of just a bar chart, a big bar. And the default of MetaTrader is a very skinny bar, so you can still do it. But I'm not a fan of candles, only because it doesn't give me the narrative. So I mean, it's just too much information. I like this thread of closing prices of tops become bottoms, very clearly defined. You can see a double top, you can see a triple top, you can get capture closing in above that. So when they close under the floor, that's a buy. And all your limits that you put in this supply zone here, well, actually, that one was filled here and you had to cash out. Then when it came down, I can't stretch that out. Oh, here's the candles for you. See how the candles are just ridiculous? Like, who the fuck cares when it opened? Sorry, but who cares? Right? It's like Cuomo. Who cares? You're dead. Cuomo forex. Who cares? You're dead. Fuck. Dude, you're old. Come on. Give me a break. Move on. Get with it, kids. This is Soylent Green. Come on. Damn. But this is the world here. I mean, I don't know why this no nonsense guy is torturing people with this. Well, support and resistance just don't exist. And this guy, he talked to ICT, believe it or not. This is the funniest thing, is that they know each other. They talk to each other. They still walked away as dumb as they were after they talked to each other. They learned nothing. I think the one, oh, man, I tell you that is just the goofiest thing. And the reason why the No Nonsense has all these listeners is because he's got a podcast. He's on some Apple shit. I ain't on no Apple. Fuck Apple. I remember when I started trading at these Macintosh computers that could run multiple monitors, and I'm like, oh, that looks cool. I mean, but then I looked at the price and I thought, fucking, I could buy a motherboard for $100 and build my own computer for just a mouse. Your Apple fucking mouse. Look at this. Look at this feeding zone here. Look at this buy. Is that a low risk trade or is it just me? No, I'm waiting for my moving average crossover system. Yeah, that's why ICT's talking about this. This is the market maker. And he's like, oh, Steve Morrow, no, I'm the original market maker guy. I'll have you know. This is so funny about the guy. I'll have you know. So I'm up $4,300 on here, and I'm only in a 60K, very light trading. We're going into this, and I got the orders right here. So if you open up the boom, it's 2 a.m. Boom. So we're gonna buy this little dippity doo underneath the floor. This is the earlier trade that I did. I bought here in this 20 pip window, and when we came flying back to here, I just dumped it. You know, I'm trying to make 1,000 pips. I know there are 80 pip runs out there. This is the one earlier today, but I only rode this for 40 pips. But look at this 80 pip dead winner. This is the euro, by the way. Every market has this opportunity. Here's your lonely wick. Right, we all know that one. That's the Williams fractal. We put our orders to sell above that, regardless of moving averages, regardless of anything in the planet. Okay, you're gonna sell a 20 pip window here. I'm gonna sell a 20 pip window, and I can take 40 pips off the table, or I can wait for the full engulf. We engulfed right to like a 2 pip window. Okay, forget Gartley patterns. That's true dysfunction. When you see people doing the Gartley pattern, you go, dude, I don't care where you got these mushrooms, but you should stop doing these mushrooms. There's something wrong, you know. It's so mystic. It's so ridiculous. Can't you just buy down here? Like, look at this lonely wick entry. Wow. Set it and forget it. This is a 4-hour chart. In 4 hours, you're going to make 60 pips on that. It's amazing. Look at your risk window here. You could have put in the 4 standard lots here with a 10 pip stop, couldn't you? You got to take those 20 pips, right? You got to get on 20 pips. Your first target's going to be the floor you fell through. So you overshoot that a little bit. Come back in with the buy limits like this. Now this is a 1 hour, this is pretty low risk trading here. 1 hour, 2 hour. I'm just going to buy it. If it goes down again, I'm going to buy new lows, buy fresh lows. Always buying the fresh lows. Never buy a stale low. When you're way out here, if we ever get down here today, it's going to be crazy. It's a buyer's dream down there. It's 5 minutes. It's almost 5 minutes after 2 a.m. So this is going to get pretty raucous. Now there's a nice tight stop. 14 pips to make 18. About $7 to make $7. So this is another reason that this is the better way to trade for me, because I can see this is a 4-hour chart, and I'm like, you know, are they real? If they take this out, I'll buy that. Same thing on the pound. If they take this thing down the tubes here, which it looks like they want to do that, always, they're always ramming this thing down in before Europe opens, before, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to buy this crush. I did sell here though. See, I sold because this was my target because I bought this crush. And if you were to martingale in or just put your big fat ticket down here, but you may not get filled. They don't always take it down there. Doesn't always happen like that. If you put big fat ticket down here, it doesn't get filled till like the next week. Same thing here. Big fat ticket, no fill because the spread, right? That's the bid you're looking at. You don't get filled on that. I'm saying I'll put in a 6K here for 4 hours with the 18 pip stop. Same thing here. So that whole column, they got to take the market down in 4 hours or less, fill that, and retrace. And we're good. So I'm only in a 60K now, looking to get in more K if we can do another sell off there. But now we're back to this pivot on the 4 hour, right? We're back to this doji, and this is the pivot that goes through. If you're looking back, this would be fair value to this range that we just, and here's the sells, right? The sell limit there. Another reason to get out. There was a sell of the day here. This is worth 80 pips with a 20 pip stop. Real easy stuff, Sell the new highs, comes down 80 pips. This is a total engulf. This is a full engulf. Sure, you once you get the 40 pips into fair value, if you're scaling out, right, you're going to take that money. Now we're looking for another attempt of hitting this round number, and that's another 20 pips I'll make. Bitcoin's on its way back up. Look at this Bitcoin crazy wick. So since the now I could buy at the market right here, and I would, but I don't want to kind of, it's just kind of light trading, and I'm not going to do it with my real money either. So I should buy at the market right here, though. See how that setup looks at this time of day. Can we really go down more? That's $0. $0 is a little more tame. This is a 18 pip window where this pound is on fire. So here's the same perspective. So it looks like a little, that looks like the sell-off just before we open in Europe. It looks like we're going to get a rally here of at least back to this round number. Trying to take this out. It's only Tuesday. I'm sure the bulls can't wait to get back up to at least this the rooftop of this 4 hour. And this is a sell window, so I put the sells up there. I don't think it's going to fill until maybe the end of the day. My only target here is going to be the next 20 pips. So if it goes down 10 to 20 to 30 to 40 pips, I will buy all the way down there, and there's plenty of dry powder. I'm only in a 60K. I'm up $4,200. And we're just waiting for this to happen now. That's it. I don't really want to get too heavy in this because look at all these trades that if you start looking at it like a 20 pip window of selling, here's a sell window. After that, where do you get out? Well, if you get out at the logical place, after you get in here, you really want to get out if you're going to sell here, you need to think about the window you crushed into. So the buyers, the breakout buyers, if they think this is the breakout point, they're going to start buying there for this move. So there will be that inflection. And if you're going to run, and I wouldn't do it, but if you can run stop entry and you have a trailing sell stop that gets triggered here in confirmation, this is your flag, your pennant, your whatever have you. You are going to go into a short position there by default because you're going to get filled on your sell stops, but not your buy stops. So your trailing buy stops never get tagged here. And only your sell stops get, and you would say, well, that's a great system. Look at that. I made fucking, how many pips on that? And I could have ran a trailing goober, trailing buy stop. And it does work, right? But where it doesn't work is this shit. If you got a sell stop here and they trigger you, okay, you just got trapped in a 20 pip screw job. So here too, trailing sell stops, you better take that money. And this bar is too big. So if you have a breakout bot, talked about this stop entry system, the breakout bot only comes into play when the market gets quiet enough for it. It has to quiet down into a 20 pip zone here. Now it is getting trapped, but then it makes the money. And when it sees big bars, it never puts buys and sell stops on big bars, even though you're going to tell me all day long, I put a sell stop here and look at all the money I made. There's got to be some kind of filter. It's either going to, and on the limits, if I got a crop of buy limits down here, because I know that, oh my God, if they ever, like just like this, if they ever take it down here, wow. So I could put a crop of buy limits down in a 40 pip window down here and leave it for like, all week. All week. I never got to change that. So if you're going to be no nonsense about it, you got buy limits down here. They last a month. That's like the maximum you're allowed. And MetaTrader is a month. And you got orders here to sell for 4 hours, 8 hours, 12 hours, all month, all year. Sell limits up here, right? It just goes without saying. Do you need a particular candle pattern up there? Sure, if that's what really gets you off. It's still so cute that you need that. It's so cute. I love that. The retail guy be, yeah, well, you know, unless I get it like a kind of a shooting star up here or a, I'm just not going to take the trade. That's my confirmation. Yeah, I kind of like that. It's kind of like, you know, if you could fluff my pillow. I'm just looking at this area here. We just have sell limits up here. Well, we do. But we should have sell limits up here because, you know, as soon as we get up here, it's going to be like this. It's just going to be like this for the rest of your life. There's no clean, like, look at this beautiful trend. Uh-oh. Wow, it's trending the other way. That's crazy. It's almost like a range. Almost. Geez. Okay, well. So I'm going to go back to sleep. I just thought I'd stop in and complain a little bit.